You are finished.
Can I please have another chance?
No. Your behavior at this point dictates that nobody can help you in here.
Please, I want to.
For 4 months, I have seen you from day one. You haven't lost any weight.
I don't eat a third what
Then
You're
we're not
asking
talking
me
about
questions that I don't understand no more than you understand.
What are you talking about? You're choosing to overeat and you think it's okay?
You know, if there's one thing that gets under Dr. Now's skin faster than a pizza delivery during a weight loss program, it's someone who refuses to play by the rules. And let me tell you, Shani Murray wasn't just bending the rules, she was practically tearing them apart and tossing them out the window. Her story on the show is like a masterclass in defiance, sprinkled with a good dose of denial, and topped off with a few helpings of dark humor. Hello everyone! Before we dive into the wildest moments that made these contestants your favorite, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss out on the shocking twists and turns we've got in store.
Because there was one time where we was at my uncle's house and I was molested by my cousin. I didn't know as a child what was going on. Shanae had came from the basement and she started kind of whining and she was touching her front area. She was hurting. All I remember is my mom had took me to the doctor because I couldn't use the bathroom.
Let's start with Shani's childhood because, honestly, it reads like the backstory of a tragic character in a twisted novel. Picture this: the only child in the house, living what most would think is the dream, getting all the love and attention a kid could want. But nope, life took a sledgehammer to that fantasy pretty early on. But things took a dark turn when she was just 5 years old. She was raped by her cousin. Poor Shani.
I started sneaking food right after that incident. Food made me feel better. It made me feel happy. So then I started putting on weight. And when I was 7, I was about 130 pounds. When I was in elementary, my teacher did throw away my lunch because I was too fat.
Now that's a game no one signed up for, right? Poor Shani. As if that wasn't enough, she drags herself out of the basement, tears streaming down her face, and heads straight to her mom. The situation escalates quickly as mom rushes her to the doctor. And here's where the plot really thickens. Turns out, that kick was more than just a bruise. It was a life-altering event that set Shani on a path where food wasn't just sustenance, it was her refuge, her escape hatch, her new best friend.
She would take food from the refrigerator and take it back to her room, and we would find like bones, either in the couch or in the bed, underneath the bed. I got very heavy. And when I was 11, I was around 160. I was larger than all the rest of the kids. So I used to get picked on for being heavy. And I just kept gaining more weight.
Now here's the kicker literally. Food became her comfort. But like any toxic relationship, what starts as comfort soon turns into a nightmare. Fast forward a few years, and Shani finds herself face to face with Dr. Now, the man who's seen it all. But trust me, even he wasn't ready for the roller coaster that was about to unfold. From the get-go, it was clear Shani was about as committed to the program as a cat is to a bath. Dr. Now laid out the plan, complete with neon signs pointing to a healthier life, but Shani, she just wasn't interested. It's almost as if she saw his roadmap and decided to take a detour into Pizzaville instead.
You're still eating whatever you want, whenever you want.
Not necessarily all the time.
All right, I don't think you're grasping how dangerous your situation is, Shani. And with all the health issues you've got, you may not even make it to 30. You're not even trying. Did you even reduce a single thing in your diet?
I cut pork out and I started eating crab meat and shrimp.
But oh, it gets better, much better. You see, Skeeny had a secret weapon in her arsenal of bad decisions. Her husband, the unofficial food smuggler of the year. The pair was like the Bonnie and Clyde of unhealthy eating. Even in a hospital, with all the tools to turn her life around, they couldn't resist the call of greasy fast food. We're talking pizzas, burgers, the whole forbidden feast. And when Dr. Now found out, let's just say, it wasn't the happy kind of surprise. The tension could have cut through a thick crust pizza.
Here's the situation.
Okay.
For 4 months, I have seen you from day one. You haven't lost any weight. Plus, the hospital staff not only seen you eating pizza, but burgers. And then you're smart enough not to throw it to your own trash, throw it to somebody else's trash.
It was me that ate it. She didn't eat any of that.
You both need to stop lying. You came here to have weight loss surgery.
As if the story couldn't get any wilder, 6 months later, Skinny decided to ghost the program entirely. She skipped appointments, dodged the psychologists, and when Dr. Now finally managed to check in on her, she hit him with a curveball that left everyone speechless. She questioned his beliefs in God, as if that had anything to do with the fact that she was still dangerously overweight. And then, the grand finale, she hung up on him. I mean, who does that? It's like hanging up on Batman when he's about to save Gotham. It's not just rude, it's downright reckless.
I'm telling you simple science, and you don't want to listen, so don't try to teach me medicine.
Oh, I'm not trying to teach you medicine, but I'm trying to teach you about my body. Do you believe in God?
What does that have to do with this discussion? What I'm telling you is not a matter of faith. It's a matter of medicine and science and physiology.
And I understand that, but do you believe in God?
Lee's episode is a tale of struggle, support, and some seriously crazy moments. Lee faced more than his fair share of challenges from a young age. After his parents split and he got a new stepmom and step-siblings at just 2 years old, Lee's life took a dark turn. But life had more for him.
Because my boyfriend can't do anything for himself anymore.
You ready to help me, Pete, sweetheart?
Yeah.
All right.
So I have to help him before I can take care of myself.
Just living life is a struggle daily. So there's many days that I don't get out of bed because of the pain. And I hate what I'm doing to Renee.
Something even more terrible happened to him when he was just 9 years old. One of his step-siblings molested him and it continued for 3 years. It was a secret he kept locked away, too ashamed and embarrassed to share. This pain led him to seek solace in food, and by 10, he weighed around 230 pounds. Let's see how he ended up with his unhealthy eating habits.
With the cousins that lived with us, there was 8 kids in our family growing up. And when I was 9 or 10 years old, one of my siblings sexually abused me. That went on for 3 years. I didn't tell anybody over shame and embarrassment. It's one of those things that none of my family talk about, even to this day. And it's really messed with my head. So food is how I dealt with it. I started stealing food out of the refrigerator, going in my room in the closet and hide and eat it. It didn't matter what it was, as long as it tasted good.
Emerging from a childhood filled with turmoil, Lee's weight spiraled out of control as he hit a staggering 714 pounds. That was his wake-up call, leading him straight to Dr. Now's door. The moment Lee and his girlfriend Rena sat down with Dr. Now, the air was thick, but not with excitement, with disappointment. But why the disappointment? You'll soon realize.
Lee, you're 714 pounds, and Renee, you're 549 pounds. And you both have significant health issues as a result of your weight. Renee, you're diabetic and you take an enormous amount of insulin. The same seems to be the case for Lee too. And I see you're on oxygen. So you're no longer able to breathe on your own because of your weight.
At their second appointment, Dr. Now, who never minced words, was clearly not impressed. Despite undergoing bypass surgery, Lee had only managed to lose 9 pounds over 2 months, while Rena was smashing goals, having lost 50 pounds. Seems like Lee wasn't following the rules, but he wasn't taking it all seriously.
And when you left the hospital, you were down to 546. So you lost only 9 pounds instead. But Renee has lost almost 50 pounds at the same time. And she hasn't even had her bypass yet. What in the world is going on with you?
Facing the harsh realities of his journey, Lee's attempt to bring lightness to the situation backfired. But laughter was the last thing on Dr. Now's mind. He laid down the hard truth: surgery isn't a magic fix. In fact, without the surgery, Lee might have found himself 100 pounds heavier. Lee's response to these harsh truths will shock you.
You think it's funny? You have a gastric bypass.
I had a gastric bypass,
to
yes.
lose weight.
To lose weight.
And you're not losing weight.
I don't eat a third what I ate
just
before I
answer
had
the
that
question,
surgery.
okay? Then
You're
we're not
asking
talking
me
about
questions
that.
that I don't understand no more than you understand.
What are you talking about? You're choosing to overeat and you think it's okay?
No, I don't think it's okay at all.
So what is going on?
That blunt reality hit Lee hard. Feeling attacked, he made a dramatic choice to storm out, leaving Dr. Now's advice in attempts to ground him in the dust. Despite Dr. Now's best efforts to pull him back to reality, Lee was determined to leave. Definitely one for the books in terms of the craziest moments.
Oh, we're not finishing with me. You're making me mad.
You
I'm
sit
leaving.
down right there.
You just
You
let
sit down right over there.
No, I'm
Please, sit down.
Okay,
Let go of me, Renee.
all right, this is completely unacceptable. Lee's behavior right now is very alarming, but he's starting to realize some of the issues.
Lee's story wasn't just a clash of wills, it was a vivid illustration of the importance of accountability and facing up to the tough truths about personal responsibility in the weight loss journey.
And if Lee chooses to avoid those issues and run right now, then he's going to continue on the same path that he was, where he's not going to survive another year. Renee, you stayed on track, despite how Lee's behaving, and I'm proud of you for that.
If you're as hooked on these jaw-dropping stories as we are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now buckle up, because Stephen Asante's journey is one roller coaster ride of drama, tears, and some seriously questionable choices. Just at the start of his episode, Stephen, tipping the scales at a whopping 730 pounds, gets booted from Rhode Island Hospital. Why, you ask? Well, our boy Stephen thought it would be a great idea to order pizza while trying to qualify for weight loss surgery. Yes, you heard that right. His desperate father, fearing this might be Stephen's end, decides against taking him home. Instead, they hit the road, hoping for a miracle.
An 800-pound man from Cranston desperate for help after he says Rhode Island Hospital told him to leave.
For the past 80 days, Stephen was getting the help he needed at Rhode Island Hospital. But after Stephen violated his care plan by ordering pizza, Stephen said the hospital told him he can no longer stay. Stephen's father says taking his son home will be a death sentence, so the two men say they'll continue to drive until they find a place that can help.
I just don't know where to turn to. I called everybody you could think of in the state of Rhode Island, and nobody can help me.
It seemed like Stephen had burned all his bridges. Enter Dr. Now, the kindest and most helpful doctor you could imagine, who decided to give Stephen a shot and called them to Houston. But even Dr. Now knew he was in for a ride with Stephen, labeling him one of the toughest cases ever. The big question was, would Stephen be committed enough to follow the rules?
Stephen Asante is being transported to my care in Houston right now, and I'm not sure what to expect. From what I understand, he suffers from severe psychological issues that make it problematic to treat him. So he's going to be a unique case.
This looks really yummy.
You might be wondering how Stephen managed to gain all that weight. Well, his sneakiness knew no bounds. Stephen didn't just eat, he devoured. His daily intake could rival a small army's rations. Pizza, fried chicken, gallons of soda, you name it, he consumed it. It's like he was on a mission to set a world record for the most calories ingested in one sitting.
And then, when he used the bathroom, he leaned up against this, and somehow, some way, this cracked. So I'm surprised he didn't break this. He broke this pot. Here, I'll show you the bedroom that he spent 24/7 in. This is basically all his stuffed animals and his TV, his videos. He just couldn't get out of bed and walk around like a regular normal.
He'd secretly gorge on pizzas and fast food, thinking he had everyone fooled. His dad once found not one but 10 empty pizza boxes hidden in his room. And get this, Stephen even called the cops on his dad over food. The charges? Dropped in exchange for, you guessed it, a large pizza. Like, who does that man?
One day I happened to open up that closet and I see 10 piles of empty pizza boxes in here where he tried to hide them from me. I said, let me tell you something, it's gonna stop because I don't wanna see that ever again. And then he says to me like, oh, all right, well, what are you gonna get me to eat now? I said, you serious, dude? I said, how do I know you just didn't have a pizza today and you want something to eat again?
But all this sneakiness had to be stopped. After reaching Houston, Stephen weighed in at a staggering 730 pounds. Dr. Now, hoping to see some progress, put him on a strict 1,000-calorie diet. Fast forward 3 months, and Stephen's true colors began to shine. He disrespected staff and started manipulating them for food and pain meds. Dr. Now had enough, declaring it was game over at the hospital. The story takes an even more dramatic turn next.
At this point, there's nothing I can do to help you. So you're done here.
I've been doing good and everything, please.
And unless you have an emergency, you will not be admitted back.
I've been good. I swear I apologize to everybody.
If you want to stay in the program, you need to find a place to stay because you're not staying here anymore. So your father needs to set you up somewhere else.
Despite the doctor's best efforts, Stephen didn't change his tune. He missed appointments, ghosted Dr. Now's calls, and yes, ordered a large pizza and Coke the moment he got his new freedom. But when he overdosed on painkillers to get more meds from another hospital, Dr. Now confronted him. Stephen's response? Non-seriousness and laughs. Oh boy, he definitely wasn't ready to change his life.
You missed your appointment with me last week. Do you think you lost any weight?
Well, I mean, you know.
I see pizza in here. How many times you ordered pizza since you've been here?
Probably like two.
Two times that she knows. How many times that she didn't know that you ordered pizza? Don't look at her.
Well, when I first got here to the apartment, I had a pizza.
Stephen's journey wasn't just about the weight, it was a constant battle of manipulation and excuses. After all the non-seriousness and ignorance, Dr. Now finally lost his patience. He laid down the law, telling Stephen his painkiller and manipulation days were done. Get it through your head, he said, or you're looking at death or jail. Stephen Asante was truly the craziest patient to ever appear on the show.
You lied about it, and right now, at least you got to the point about it. But here's the situation. This is the end of your road for now.
Okay.
You done manipulating system with me involved. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm suspending you from the weight loss program. And you're going from here to a drug addiction program. Because right now, there's nothing we can do to wake you up.
Kine Dolphus was that unforgettable contestant who expressed her craziness, telling Dr. Now, "You're not a god at 41. Kine stepped into the limelight, ready to tackle her lifelong battle with obesity, where even standing up on her own was a major challenge. Can you believe it? Just a 45-second stand-up and she was done. How will her journey unfold as she takes on this monumental challenge?
These days, even standing is a painful thing for me now. I can't stand up on my own for more than about 45 seconds. If I make it to the minute mark, I'm in tears. On the worst days, I can't get out of the bed. I don't make it to the bathroom. When I can get up, I have to have help.
But who was Kine's backup crew? She had a devoted family featuring her husband, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and her husband's nephew and nieces. Her nieces, Alika and Deja, took charge of shower duties, while her nephew became the go-to guy for walking support. Talk about a personal cheering squad.
Alicia, come on, babe. I'm ready to get washed up. Alicia is 16. If I'm gonna take a good shower, Alicia helps. Or if Deja's here, she helps. Deja is 19. And she's in college, so she's in and out of the house here.
Kine's weight issues started early. By 10, she was tipping the scales at over 150 pounds, and by 13, she was between 230 to 240 pounds. Surprisingly, Kine lived a normal through high school life, complete with dating and prom nights. Her weight? Not a problem in her eyes, so the binge eating continued. Did she adopt healthy eating habits after high school?
But I don't feel like I missed out on anything during that time because of my size. So I was happy in high school. I dated. I went to prom. So I didn't see a reason to change how I ate. So I kept eating more and gaining weight. And I graduated from high school at 17. I was well over 350 pounds. But I was still able to manage pretty well at that time.
Following her high school years, Kine's independence led to an escalation in fast food runs and binge eating. Hitting 400 pounds didn't slow her down. Movement wasn't an issue, so all was peachy in her world. But Kine had dreams beyond just getting by, dreams of a bigger family. Yet her weight began causing infertility and other health issues. Now it was getting serious.
But there were some struggles. Infertility can put a strain on the relationship. I just always figured that once I found someone that I wanted to settle down with, I'd get pregnant, we'd have kids, we'd go on with life. But I wasn't getting pregnant. I was diagnosed with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it did attribute to weight gain, and that devastated me.
Then, at 41, Kine decided enough was enough and reached out to the legendary Dr. Now. With a starting weight of a whopping 614 pounds, Dr. Now's prescription was a strict 1,200-calorie diet and daily exercise, aiming for a bold 75-pound loss in 2 months. But would she be able to stick to the tough regimen laid out for her?
And did anybody in the family would tell you you're eating too much, don't eat that much, or...
Will they tell me that?
Yeah.
No.
Nobody tell you that?
No.
Okay.
No one's gonna step on my toes.
Well, the dynamic seems to be that you get everyone to enable you, and you use them as a crutch, and it sounds like that is affecting their health too. So, would you agree with that?
On her second visit, Kene was down to 592 pounds, far from the target. Confronted by Dr. Now, she got defensive, hitting him with, "You're not a magician, and you're not a god. You're just a doctor, yikes." Talk about a tension-filled moment.
If you expect us to magically make you lose weight, it's not going to happen.
I never asked you for magic. You're not a magician and you are not God. You are a doctor.
You're exactly right. I'm the doctor who's telling you how to get healthy. So what's the purpose of you coming and seeing us and not following the diet and do what you need to save your life? Because everything is up to you. It's not up to us.
Stop it. Stop.
What is with this attitude giving me that you're upset because I tell you you're not following the diet?
No, I am upset because you were...
But despite the rocky start, Kene committed to the 1,200-calorie grind. Dr. Now also recommended therapy with Dr. Paradise, who suggested Kene write a letter to her late mom to process her grief and everything since her passing. But how does this impact her progress towards her weight loss goals?
I was never able to get any closure from losing her because of my size. I couldn't go to her burial and say goodbye, and it's one of my biggest regrets that I let my weight get so out of hand that I couldn't do that. So I want to make that right, and I want to say all the things I never got to say to her.
And by her third appointment, Kene had dropped to 543 pounds and received a new goal. However, dreams of surgery were put on hold due to health concerns signaled by high white blood cell counts. Kene's journey is a testament to the fact that the path to health is as much about mental and emotional strength as it is about physical change. What a wild ride, right? These episodes of my 600-pound life prove that no matter how tough life gets, there's always a chance for insanity and to make life more challenging. If you've been as captivated as we have, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way, you'll never miss out on more amazing stories just like these. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Rapid heartbeat and atrial fibrillation, and that is something that we need to be concerned because with that issue, you won't survive surgery. And the reality is, with this issue, your body is getting close to a breaking point. And right now, you're not going to live very long unless you lose a lot more weight before things get worse.